Okay, so again, I'm Leah Morse with All Things New, and just want to share a little bit first to tell you kind of why I do what I do. It started in 2008, and I'll be quick with this part. When my grandmother passed away, I watched my mom labor over, and my grandmother didn't have a lot, labor all the things that she had and how to get rid of it and what to do with it, and the agony that was on her heart really hit me. And she was literally leaning over in a box and trying to go through some of her stuff. And I tapped her on her back and I said, when we finish this, we're doing your stuff. Because I said, we're doing it together. I don't want to do this by myself. And so anyway, then through a series of events over the next few years, my husband's grandparents passed away. And we had to help a little bit with an estate sale and get some things together. And, you know, the same thing, you're going through their house and looking at all their stuff and trying to figure out what you want to keep and then what everybody else is going to keep. And just the whole, the emotional trauma of all of that. Then right behind that, there was a few years in between. We sold our house, sold everything in it, had an estate sale, did the whole 9 yards, downsized, went from a 3,800 square foot house to 2,000 square feet. We now live in 1,300 square feet. I get it all mixed up. But anyway, so we've done it. We've been there, we've done it. And then lastly was his parents passed away, kind of one right behind the other. And we had to go through it again. And we hired the same company that did our estate sale to do their estate sale. And it was just hard. Like that one was way harder on us than ours was. Because it was like getting rid of your own stuff. But then when you see like your parents' stuff laid out on tables and things, it just has a negative impact on you and it's hard. And so anyway, we started helping friends and other family members kind of walk through this process. We did a few estate sales. And that was really how I got started, was doing the estate sales first. And then started doing the moving and the packing and trying to help people transition, you know, from one home to another. We helped a girlfriend move to Florida. I helped a lady move to Texas. I mean, we've been kind of all over. But anyway, but the gist of it is that I feel like God trained me to do it. He called me to do it. And so I really have a heart for doing what I do now. So anyway, but I want to start with the famous last words from everyone that I have moved. At some point in time, they will say, I did not know I had this much stuff. And it just like crawls out from under the woodwork. You'll get a room done and you go back in there and it's like, where did that come from? I promise we did all that, but yet it just keeps appearing. And so anyway, just want to say that, you know, stuff kind of infiltrates your life. It's slow, quiet. You don't really notice it that much. And you know, you'll go shopping and you're really happy when you bring home what you bought. And, you know, it's kind of like moving into a new house and you get to decorate it, make it your own, put your stamp on it, you know, give it your vibe. And then, you know, you all of a sudden realize, oh man, I got to clean this. I have to maintain it. I have to dust it. I have to wash it. And, you know, it kind of gets overwhelming if you get too much stuff. And, so anyway, I want to share a new phrase with you all that's emerging about minimizing and decluttering. And it's the last one came from, I'm sure you all heard of Marie Kondo, and hers was about, you know, everything that brings you joy, hold on to the things that bring you joy. And so the newest one is based on a book called Goodbye Things by Fumio Sasaki. And it's about the silent to-do list. And he believes every single material item in our house is sending out messages, some positive and some negative. The positive ones come from things that make you happy. Like you walk into a room and you see pictures of your family or, you know, vacations that you've taken and they make you smile. And then there's negative ones when you're walking through your house and, you know, you'll be at your desk and you're on task and working really hard and you get up and you go get something to drink. And on the way there, there's clothes on your couch that are screaming, fold me. And, you know, you walk by your kitchen sink and there's all these dishes in there and they're saying, put me in the dishwasher. And, you know, or you're going to work and you're walking to your closet and you're going to put on some clothes and there's things hanging in there with tags still on them and saying, why did you make impulse purchases? You know, so you have all these things talking to you all the time. And what I set out to do and what I hope to do is help you take away some of those negative voices and only have the positive. So we have. So I want to read some of the surveys. I think I brought those up here that I had you all fill out to kind of give you an idea. No, I'm not going to say names. Oh, I have another one. Of kind of things that people deal with to let you know that we're all kind of in the same spot. So someone said, you know, I asked about the one place in your life that, you know, you would like organized, and they said their entry room. And I said, what do you think about when you see it? And they said it doesn't have any decorations in it. Somebody said their office. And, you know, you can't stay ahead of the paperwork. You need to block out more specific time on schedule to do it. And then one person said all of the above. When I get time, I really need to do this. And one person said just their home. I need to do something about all this stuff. And another person said office. I'm behind. The problem with putting it all away. I forget about doing it. I'm very visual. One person circled garage and they said not enough proper storage. Somebody says the garage, their spare room, yuck. And someone said their closets, easy to find. What I wanted, that says the retail side, well, I can't tell. I'm gonna have to come back to you on that one. I'm sorry. Okay, office, it says I need to organize. Maybe it will boost my energy, definitely. And then one person says their home and their garage. I want to get this stuff out and organize it, put it into a storage place. And then one says garage, stress, lots of chaos. And those are the things that everybody says, the same basic stuff, as it causes chaos. It makes you crazy. You're trying to figure out what to do with all of it. And it's just too hard. And, you know, people will just give up because they can't handle it alone. And so that's kind of what I do. I just come in and I help you go through the stuff. We're working with a client right now, just to give you an example. His wife passed away about 3 years ago, and he literally has just come to exist. And you walk into his house and there is stuff everywhere. Like, I don't think he was a hoarder in his life, but he looks like a hoarder now because he doesn't know how to do all the things his wife did to keep their house straight and clean and organized. And in his living room, he's got piles of paper, and then there's boxes everywhere. And one box will have 3 or 4 pieces of paper, and the other box has 3 or 4 pieces of paper. And I'm asking him, like, what do you want to do with these pieces of paper? And he's like, I don't know. I just put them in the box. And so we've worked with him. He's moving in a couple of weeks, and we've been working with him to try to get him to thin out the things that he doesn't need to hold on to any longer, and then move into his new space with a lot less stuff. He's got probably, I'm going to say 30 pieces of furniture that he wants to take with him, and he's moving into 1,100 square feet. He doesn't want to get rid of it. And I understand it all has memories. His wife loved flowers. And so he's got all these flower pots all over the house that she grew flowers and put them in there, but he doesn't do it, but he's not willing to let go of the pots. And so, you know, you have all these scenarios that you're trying to work through with people and help them realize that it's okay if you let it go. We can take a picture of it. We can hold on to it that way. It's going to evoke the same memories with the picture, but let's move into a new space with less stuff, and then we can make you happier. But that book, the silent to-do list, going back to that, thinking about when you walk through your house, what is it saying to you? Are you happy when you look at all the things in your house, or do they cause you stress and chaos? So if it causes you stress and chaos, try to think differently about it. Like, is it something that you really need? Do you use it? Another example I have is we've just merged houses with my mom. She lives with us, and we lived in the garage on our property for 7 years, waiting to rehab, flip the home that we now live in. And my mom lived in part of the house. We fixed it for her so she could live in her bedroom, and we cleaned up the kitchen and made it nice and, you know, good enough to get by until we could do all of this. And so now we've done it. So we have merged our two houses. And when she moved out there, we went through a lot of her stuff, got rid of a lot of stuff. But again, we have to encounter this one more time because we've taken everything out of boxes. We have all of her casserole dishes and all of our casserole dishes, which we kind of minimized down to about 3, but now we have about 50. And, you know, it's like, okay, we can't have this many. And she's okay. She's just like, stack it over here and stack it on top. And I'm like, no. Because my mind now is we need 3. And I don't want to go back to 10. I don't want to go back to 15. I don't want to go back. I want to stay at 3 because we've never needed more than 3. So the goal is to, you know, listen to the silent things in your house as they're talking to you and do something about it. Don't wait for it to get the best of you. And then you're at a point where you can't do anything anymore and you're just trying to survive, you know, and get through your day. So that's kind of my pitch. Love to take questions from you guys or suggestions or give you suggestions if you've got a spot that you would love to ask a question about for something that you need organized. Yeah.
Leah, where do you, when you get ready to donate a lot of your stuff, what are some organizations you find that are very beneficial to be able to take your stuff and also doing a spot to help the community people get some stuff that they might not be able to afford?
Oh, that's a great question. So we donate a lot of our stuff now to Blue City Thrift, which is at Kirby and Quince. And it's a Christian organization and they do amazing things for the community.
What was that name again?
It's Blues City Thrift. Literally anything that is resellable, we give it to them. And we call them sometimes with truckloads of stuff saying, we're coming. And they're opening their back door and glad to see us because they know, you know, we're going to bring them something that's going to be good for their store and then good for the community. Yes.
Would medical things like hospital beds and Hoyers and things like that also be a good place to take it?
Yeah. Yeah, because they have a great following. So even if, you know, they'll have someone there that can contact someone else that would need it or, you know, make a connection to use it. And we've had those kinds of things from many of our clients. I'll tell you, I work for a company out of California too, and they move executives all over the United States. And we go in and help them get rid of the things that they don't need to take with them. My goal is to take as much away so that the company that comes in and moves them, this is a national organization, they don't have to pay as much because it's a corporate move. So the corporation's paying for it. So they're trying to minimize the amount of stuff they take. So, I mean, we have taken away basketball goals, huge pieces of furniture, and slide things upside down, going down steps because it's just us and maybe 1 or 2 other people trying to move it out. But we will do whatever we can to help them move through the process. And then we can take it to Blue City Thrift.
Wow.
Yeah. Who else said?
The Church Health Center also will take equipment.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, great. That's good to know. Yeah.
My ex-wife passed away about 2 years ago, and it doesn't matter, you know, how old the kids are. She's 30 and 40 years of age, but she's a very stylish lady. She had 100 pairs of shoes, 100 pairs of shoes. She had 16 feet of walk-in closet space that you couldn't get your fingers in. Yeah. Anyway, needless to say, Leah Anne, they took care of everything. It was wonderful, and my kids they just love her.
We love your kids.
So,
well, that's I build relationships with these people. We move a lot of people into the village in Germantown, and we go back and see them as often as we can. If we have, you know, days off where we can go, the other lady that works with me most of the time, she and I will just go visit because we just love to see them. Because, you know, you spend weeks with these people in most cases. And so you really do develop relationships with them. But Joe, did you have a question?
Yeah, a practical how-to. Everybody who filled out that thing knows they have things to do, but either has procrastinated or it's like too big. I can't do it.
Right.
Practical how to start, what to look at, what to do, steps. You have those.
Yeah, so the first thing I do is try to encourage them to take everything out of whatever room it is, if you can, or move it to one side, so that you can see your space. And then as you put things back, don't put back the things when you pick it up. If it's negative in your mind, don't put it back. Do something else with it. And I know like paperwork you have to hold on to and things of that nature, but only keep the things that are really valuable to you or that you have to keep, but holding on to all of it causes so much stress and anxiety. And you walk into the room and you're like, never mind. And you just walk back out because it's just too overwhelming. So I would say start small, and try to get rid of those things that don't help you, and I hate to say it, that bring you joy. I hate to use her phrase, but it's like, think about those things and how your house talks to you, and then get rid of the stuff that doesn't make you happy. Yes.
If somebody was to hire you, how would they budget for your services on the front end?
How do they budget?
How would I budget to hire you?
Oh, okay. So, I just tell you,
By the job or by the hour? Or
it's
how
by
do you
the
do it?
hour.
By
Yes,
the
ma'am.
hour.
Yes, ma'am. It's by the hour. So I have, it's usually 2 of us that come in, and it's $90 for 2 of us per hour. And then if we have 3, it's $120, and it's $30 more for each person that comes in. But you would be, I'll tell y'all this, when I have to do stuff at home, that's a big project. I have my girls come with me. I have 6 of them that work with me, and I pay them and we knock it out. And then I am done. I don't have to think about it anymore. I know it's going to be done well because I've trained them. And then you can move on. It is literally done. Like we had a project that I needed them to help me do. It was done in a day. So the agony of all of it is over in a day. So it's the working through it quickly. What's it worth to you? The number of times you have to think about it, the weight that it puts on you. If you just pay somebody to come help you do it, it's done and it's over. And you just move on.
Do you have the truck or whatever you need to take things off to?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have a moving team that's phenomenal. I can't say enough about my moving team. But yeah, we'll rent a truck. We have a U-Haul. He has a truck. Yeah, we've got everything you need to make it happen.
So was the truck rental be extra?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Well, now if he does it,
Just trying to figure it out.
well, I know. Yeah. So if the gentleman does it, it's worked into his cost. But if I do it, I rent a truck from U-Haul. So mine would be, yeah, a little different. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Do you ever use the Habitat for Humanity Restore
I have
to
not.
deliver stuff to?
No, I have not. I'll check with them too. I just originally I was with Troy and Lynn, because they did this amazing ministry out of their church. And when their pastor passed away, right before that, they had stopped doing it because that was my go-to. They would come and help me clean everything out and take it. And then they ministered to the community in that church or in that area. It was amazing.
Can
So,
I piggyback on that just for a
Yes,
second?
ma'am.
Our little bitty church of old people, about 35 members, made with matching funds $187,000 for Bible sticks for the military.
Yeah.
And ironically, we have to empty all of this stuff out. So we hired a estate sale. It's a minister that has a thrift store in Senatobia. And ironically, our last sale is this weekend. So if you're looking for a place to pick up real bargains, our church is on Austin Key. Just see me. And we have to think like Wiz. There were some things from your wife that are in that sale that's going on this Friday.
Yeah,
So
nice stuff. We would have Ethan Allen couches and very nice name brand things that didn't look like they'd even been sat on, and they went to their church.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
And if I can hit on the budgeting aspect, so Leanne and I have worked together from a perspective of building her business up. And this was something she already had in place, but one thing that she really does well is she works with all of her families that she offers services to and shows them, this is what it's going to cost you. And she's got it down streamlined to, this is the amount of time that will be. And then if that's not sufficient for you, then she'll look at that and say, okay, let's adjust. So she's like all in it from that perspective. So from a budgeting perspective, she's really got it down to where she works with the families to make it most efficient for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to me, yeah.
I got a testimony. I helped her on a job, a Texas job. But in a couple other places, but one of the cool things about Leanne is she goes in there mentally prepared to help them mentally prepare. That's huge. The patience that she has is amazing. It is a God thing for her because I'm gonna cry because I'm so sensitive. But it is, she is so passionate to helping those people. I mean, the lady that the big
Yeah.
job, she had dementia, and it was just, she was repeating herself continually, but she just kept going and she just worked with it, but she helps them understand and she does it so gently. And they're so welcoming to whatever she suggests. So that is huge. That's a gift.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
And she helped me clean a room I couldn't even see to clean.
And
And she's not clean, organized.
Yeah.
And my husband was scared to death she was gonna throw away his stuff. He
Won't
was
go to
really
what?
happy afterwards.
So I could not move. I had a bad reaction to the shot. You know what I'm talking about, the shot, really bad reaction. I could hardly take a box from one end of the house to the other. And I had people coming in to replace my floors. I had to move everything in my house. There was no way. I called Leah. She brought a team of 10 people over there. And I mean, within just a few hours, they had everything packed up in boxes, neatly stored in my garage, my back patio. And then my next worry was this: are they going to be able to put it all back where it was supposed to go? They did. All I can say is, wow, Leanne. And it was so affordable because they knew what they were doing. They went in, they didn't look up. They just did what they were supposed to do, and it was done.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I
Okay.
want to do one more
Yes,
testimony. When my parents are difficult, to be nice about it, okay? And they have more stuff than I can possibly imagine in their house, can barely walk, and they were very opposed to Leanne coming and helping them. They wanted me to do it all, and it was impossible to do. But in fact, I was just completely overwhelmed every time I walked in the house. So I introduced Leanne to them, and because she's not family, they didn't argue with her quite as much as they did me. Imagine that. But my mother had already made up her mind, she wasn't gonna like me. And Leanne came in and charmed her right into liking her anyway, and helped her pack up her stuff, including the stuff she wouldn't get rid of. And then she helped her unpack it at the new place, and she got rid of more stuff that they had to pay them to. But because of Leanne and her team's patience in helping them, she was able to place things where Mom could reach it. Mom can't reach above her head anymore, but it was just amazing, and it took so much stress off me. So I'm just so grateful for it.
Well, and the fun thing about her parents, what's your stepdad's nickname?
Tomcat.
Tomcat. Okay, so one of the girls that works with me is a hoot. And every day she would walk in the door and she'd go, "Good morning, Tomcat." I mean, she'd get him going. And he, like she said, he was not that happy about what was going on. But by the end, I mean, when we would walk in the door, he'd be smiling because he knew we were coming to do some stuff, but we had a good time doing it. So we really try hard to make the transition easy. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Leanne, we talked about the emotional, I think, the juice girl over there was talking about.
Juice girl. Miss Juice Plus. Yeah.
The thing about it is we had a gentleman whose wife passed away about, 5 years ago? And he could not come to move her stuff, her dresses, her shoes. The pictures were okay, he could live with that, but he just had, she had such a knack of dealing with folks and the emotional side of getting rid of stuff. And so anyway, you have that God-sent talent there, Leah.
Well, I think that's because we had to do it.
You know,
We had to, yeah, we had to do it, yeah.
The one out there, so.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, well, thank you so much.